What's up, Christ-Centered Mental Health community? This is me, David Lee Chu-Sarche. I represent Christ-Centered Mental Health, a ministry where I talk about mental health awareness, Christian perspective in order to give you real hope in Jesus' name to glorify God the Father. Before I get started on this interview, I have a quick announcement for those of you that are new to the channel. Please check out the Christ-Centered Mental Health Ministry website. It's www.christcenteredmentalhealth.net. There you can have access to the On Faith and Mental Health blog. You can check out our statement of faith. You can check out the Christ-Centered Mental Health Ministry store. You can find out how to support the ministry through Patreon, Venmo, or Cash App. And you can find out how to contact me or someone on the team for 24-hour periods. All right, my interview. I figured I'd start this because it's the month of love. So I'm interviewing people like mentally ill Christians who are married. So tonight I'm interviewing my brother Joseph McDermott. How are you doing today, Joe?
I'm good.
All right, so we're gonna talk a little bit about what it's like for you being a newlywed husband with mental illness. Can you talk about what's it like being in a marriage where from your perspective, what's it like to be in a marriage where not only you but your wife also has mental illness?
Well, when I first started dating in my well, let me go a little bit back in history. I always wanted a girlfriend. I had a very early crush, like second grade. Ever since then, I wanted a girlfriend or someone to be with that was a female. But I always had girls that were friends, and they always tell me about like guys they had crushes on and stuff like that. I was never included in this kind of stuff. I was always kind of like the friend guy. That kind of drove me nuts for a long time. And I always wanted a woman. I had some flings here and there in school. Nothing really serious until way later in my life. But I at first like in my 30s when I started dating various women and they didn't work. At first I would hide my mental illness from them, and I was dating kind of what I call normie, basically like a woman who is either maybe have just one minor mental illness or nothing at all. I call them normies. As someone who's seriously mentally ill like me, I just call us, it's just people I basically call us, like my brethren, whether they're Christian or not. Mentally ill people are my brothers, so, but and sisters. But so I would hide it from them. I would hide the fact that I was medicated, and I tried my best to play it off, and I did okay. But the thing is, though, I would tell them, I would question them. I was like, "Are you Christian?" And they'd be like, "Yes." And then I'd be like, "All right, now because I was on a particular medication at the time, and it gave me erectile dysfunction, so." I would figure if I dated a Christian woman, she wouldn't want to sleep with me, and we could get married, and then we can resolve that other stuff later on. If she really loved me and she was married, that wouldn't be a problem. The thing is, though, they basically would lie to me saying they were Christian. They either thought they were and they weren't, or they just really weren't and they said they were. Neither one, but they wanted to sleep with me. And, I would either avoid sex or in one particular case, tell them what was the deal. Like, I had that problem. I would hide the mental illness, but I would tell them I had that problem. They'd always dump me. So I was in a predicament, like either be lonely or heartbroken, and I felt like, God, what is going on here? Like, I don't want this. This is terrible.
Yeah.
And eventually, I told myself, why don't you start being honest with this, with your mental illness, and why don't you date mentally ill girls? Why don't you start dating women who are, because I was in a place called UPC, and I talked down a guy who was like being very confrontational to the staff, and I calmed him down. And I figured, hey, I should be a peer support. So I went to get my peer support degree. And there were some girls in the UPC who I thought were pretty good looking and cute and stuff. And so I was like, man, I'm gonna give me a crazy girl, So
Yeah.
I went to get my peer support certificate at a place called Ren, and there was some women there, and I tried my luck with them. Got shot down, or they had a relationship already, stuff like that. And then I went to Valentine's Day dance, and I was the only student of the class that went, but other people of Ren went there, right? And
Yeah.
my wife for the first time, and we were playing a hot potato game, right? And basically, you had to pass along this big sack of whatever it was. It might have been styrofoam or whatever, but you had to pass it along, and when the music stopped and you were holding it, you're out. And basically,
Yes.
I was the first one out. So I was like, all right, so I was out, but I saw my wife was second place, and she lost to the eventual champion, but she made it, and I noticed her, And long story short, it was the last dance of the night, and I had no one to dance with, and I saw her walking by, and I was like, hey, I'll dance with her, And I didn't know who her name was. I never met her before, and I didn't know she had a boyfriend. If I knew that, I probably wouldn't even asked. But I tapped her, and I figured if she did have a relationship, where is this guy? She should be here, or he should be here. So he's not here. She must be single. That's what I was thinking. I tapped her on the shoulder.
That's logical.
We danced, and we exchanged numbers. It was really, I think just me thinking about it, there was just something really, like something sparked when this happened, and
that's beautiful, bro.
So, and then I took a cab home, and the cab driver said, like, hey, how was your night, man? And I was like, hey, I got a dance just now. And then I was like, that's her right there. And then he goes, you never know, man. She might be the one. And, and then we kind of dated for a little bit. Then we ended the kind of dating thing for a while. We kind of went our separate ways. Then the Valentine's Day that day, I was just getting over depression. And I was like, I need to talk to someone, man. I need to talk to someone. It just sucks being just by myself all the time, And I decided I'm gonna call Caitlin, And I saw how she was doing. We rekindled our relationship. We eventually got engaged on Valentine's Day, and then we tried to get married on Valentine's Day, but didn't work out that way. Oh well, we can't get a perfect game every time, right? So
so Valentine's Day is something special to you guys then.
Yeah, we were trying to do it every single time, everything on Valentine's Day, but oh well.
Yeah,
we were even trying to get our honeymoon on Valentine's Day, but the IRS kind of made that impossible. So
yeah, that's an amazing story, bro. Like, I'm glad you shared that with me. Oh, but like, okay, so what's it like being married to someone with mental illness while you deal with a mental illness too?
It can be a bit challenging because I don't mean to pry, but I guess I'm sure she'll understand. But I'll say her diagnosis. She has what I have. She's schizoaffective, but she's
Yeah.
also autistic. And one difference between me and her is I don't hallucinate really. I don't see or hear things that aren't there. I
Yeah.
sometimes I feel things that like bugs or like liquid going on me or something. But sometimes I
Yeah.
feel that, but other than that, I don't hallucinate. And
Yeah.
she does, and her voices tell her to hurt me. Her voices, like my father, because my father seems to always get us in hot water all the time, and they're very peculiar characters. And
Yeah.
I notice sometimes when I read scripture or pray with her, they tend to take off temporarily.
Yeah.
But and sometimes she even tells me that some of them fear me, like they get rather scared of me sometimes. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to that because like my voices are very similar to hers, where like they tell me to hurt my wife, or like there's some parts of the Bible that I can't read without triggering my voices, and like it's
yeah, yeah.
definitely. I was gonna say though, when you feel the bugs crawling on you, like what's that like? Like I guess it's called a tactile hallucination, but what is that? Can you explain? Can you explain what that sensation feels like for you?
Well, in the past, I had a problem with bed bugs. And
Yeah.
on a side note, if you're having a problem with those, get Diamanterius Earth. You won't regret it. Get the food grade kind that doesn't farm your body or won't harm pets, and put it in your carpet and whatnot. It's around your bed. It'll kill them. Anyways, I had a problem with them, and so like that kind of got in my head, right? So even when I got rid of them, I felt them crawling on me sometimes, and they were never there.
Yeah.
So sometimes they were crawling on me, and I'd like kill one or two, but that's useless of getting rid of them. They're always going to be there unless you get rid of every single one of them. But
Yeah.
and then other times, like I would donate plasma as kind of side hustle money, and sometimes I would have accidents where blood would come down my arm, but
Oh wow.
sometimes I would feel like that would happen and it wouldn't happen. I
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
me full blood and it still feels like it's happening though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That
And
makes
then
sense.
eventually I realize it's not happening, and then the sensation goes away.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So, oh, how did you know that you wanted to marry Caitlin?
Well, I loved her the day I met her. But
Amen.
as a Christian, I didn't want to be unequally yoked because that could lead to disastrous results and consequences, especially if you have children. So
Yeah.
she was basically, I would say, agnostic when I met her, and
Okay.
I told her one day. I didn't say it in the phrase like, "If you don't believe in the Lord, I'm gonna break up with you," something like that. I said,
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, Kaylin, what do you feel about God and Jesus Christ? How do you feel about it? Would you ever be open to becoming born again?" And she said, I thought about it before, and like, yes, I will. And I was like, really, seriously? And that's when I decided I want to marry her. Right there.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, how long ago, like after you started dating her, how long ago before that incident happened?
Um, Say that one more time. I didn't really quite catch that.
After you met her and started dating her, when like how long was it before you actually talked to her about the faith?
Well, to be honest, it was about I would say we were dating for about 2 or 3 years until I proposed that
Okay.
question.
Oh,
And
nice. Okay.
the thing is, though, I know how this might sound, but the circumstances I think justify it. And besides, we never did the hanky panky or anything. And that is anybody's business, but we never did it. She had to
Yeah,
move in with me because of a kind of an emergency, right, with her family, and she just had to move
yeah.
in with me. I was living alone, and she was living with her parents, and she had to move in with me. And then about 4 or 5, maybe 6 months after she moved in with me, I was like, I gotta do something about this because I want to marry her, but I
Yeah.
don't. She's saved right now, so like that's when I decided to man up, so to
That's when you
speak.
saw it. Yeah, yeah. So, how do you both support one another with your mental illnesses?
Well, I we both have bipolar as well, being schizoaffective, not just schizophrenic. So we tend to get down sometimes and feel bad and feel just depression and a lot. Just that's it's just part of the gig. I realize now that's just how I am. I'm either like really excited and really optimistic, and that can lead to a manic sometimes, or I'll
Yeah,
be like feeling down and stuff, and that'll lead to a depression, maybe. So when we
yeah,
feel down and whatnot, we support each other by because like all the other depressions, I was alone. Even
yeah.
when even the depressions when I lived with my parents, I was alone. I had no one to comfort me. So with her, I have someone to cuddle and have a shoulder to lean on and to
Yeah,
kiss on the lips and so knowing that someone is so loyal to me and has my back like I have hers, it makes it so much easier.
that's amazing. Yeah, definitely. Like what you just said reminds me of in Ecclesiastes where it says a three chord. I don't. It's basically saying it's basically saying that when you have someone, you're stronger. It's like a threefold
Amen.
cord is not easily broken.
Yeah.
Like, um. So, do you guys completely understand each other?
Completely?
Yeah.
That would be a stretch.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, sure, yeah.
For the most part, yeah, that's good. Um, so which one of you said "I love you" first, and what's the story behind that?
Well, let me think about the first I love you story. I think that was when we got engaged, I think. I think we never really told each other that until we got engaged.
Oh, really? So, who
So
was the first one to say it?
I think it was her or it was a mutual thing. Hey babe, you mind reminding me of the first I love you story? I'm kind of drawing a little bit of a blank. I'm sorry. Are you too? Yeah, me too. Like I remember the first kiss and the first dance and stuff like that, and the engagement, but the first "I love you," I don't remember that. To be honest, yeah, she can't remember either. I don't feel as bad anymore now that she can't remember. So like, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you remember you remember you guys said it on the day you guys got engaged, though.
oh yeah, yeah, we definitely said it when we got engaged. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um. So, okay. So, was your spouse an answer to prayer or an adjusted request?
I don't understand that one.
Like, was your spouse an answer to your prayers, or was she just like you just
Yeah,
adjusted to her? You just adjusted to her.
no, she was definitely an answer to my prayer.
Nice.
The verse, the Bible said, or the Bible says, like, God knows your needs before you ask for them.
Yeah.
Um, I always, I never wanted to be famous. I mean, somewhat desired that and stuff, but you know why I wanted to be famous? Why I wanted to be whatever kind of job is because I wanted a lady in my life.
Yeah.
That was the main thing about me. I always wanted a female companion to love me and have my back
Yeah.
because, you know, Sorry to say, David, but a male friend just can't fulfill you the way a female can. You know that's how it is.
No,
So
I completely understand. Like I've been wanting to get married since I was like 16 years old. Like you, I wanted a female companion.
right,
Like like this. Like I understand where you're coming from with
right,
that.
right. So like I prayed for that even when I was an atheist, man. I wanted
Yeah,
a woman. I wanted a woman so bad, and then nothing. Maybe that was one of the reasons why I became an atheist. I was like, well, this Christianity stuff ain't working so well. Maybe if I became an unbeliever, I'll get a woman or somehow.
yeah, yeah.
uh, but I always wanted a woman, and like it took me so long. Like, yeah, I had some temporary kind of relationships when I was younger, but they weren't really I didn't have a real one until my
Yeah,
life. Like I've
that's
had like the longest ones prior to my life was I had a couple ones that were like a summer, like 3 months.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know. So I never really had a real relationship till my wife. Yeah.
That's wow. So is every day perfect?
No.
No. Yeah.
No, no, no.
So
It's
you
never
want to
going to be
say
a perfect day. You can
exactly.
have the perfect spouse, you can have the perfect friends, you can have the perfect wealth. You're not going to have perfect days on this planet. Let's face it. You're always going to
Exactly.
have some kind of trouble. So
Exactly. Yeah, that's
but
how I
as
feel.
far as our relationship goes, some are better than others. Yeah, there's some that are not so good, and some that are absolutely fantastic. But every time we do have a scuffle here and there, not a physical one, don't take that out of context. But every time we have an argument, like we kind of we kind of feel bad after a while, and then we're
Yeah.
like, "Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Do you forgive me?" It kind of happens every single time. So
Well, that's good. That's good that you
yeah.
guys had that in your relationship. So you wouldn't say it's like a fairy tale ending.
Well, I don't know what our ending is yet. So we're kind of like
Well, no,
in the
I mean, we wouldn't say it was like how like in the fairy tales they say, oh, and then they lived happily ever after.
Yeah, I would say it is like that. We are happily ever
Okay.
after. We are, but
Right.
it's just that perfect days is that doesn't exist. None in this
Yeah,
world.
yeah, no, I agree.
So
Okay, besides our human desires, what should a marriage have to last?
besides our desires, why should a marriage last?
No, besides our human desires, what should a marriage have to last?
Oh, besides our human desires, why should a marriage last or what? I'm sorry.
No,
What happened?
what should a marriage have to
You broke up.
last? What? I said besides our human desires, what should a marriage have to last?
I rebuke you, hackers, in the name of Satan. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Now I can, but you're frozen. Oh, now okay, everything's back to normal. I think it was for a second.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, for like a split second, I can hear
Oh
you, and then you
well.
cut out. Okay, maybe no.
Okay. So besides our human desires, what should
Fucking. Oh, sorry.
can you hear me now?
Yes. What happened again? It's like can I hear me now, and then he explains something, and it breaks up every time. AT&T sucks. It can't be the phone. I'm not even on the Wi-Fi. I took it off, didn't I? Yeah, I'm not. Wait, I don't know. Now he took me off the program. I am off. So what do I do?
I don't know. I'm not even on Wi-Fi either. Nothing's on Wi-Fi and it's like that.
Maybe
I don't get it.
I just clicked again.
Hold on. On Wi-Fi. Hold on.
Your phone?
My watch.
Damn it.
Maybe. I'm gonna turn it off.
What happened?
I don't know if my watch is on Wi-Fi. I don't know if my watch takes Wi-Fi. You know, it takes Bluetooth. But I don't know if that's what's fucking it up. So I'm taking it off. I'm turned it off. So technical difficulties.
Not this one. What happened? Oh my god. I keep clicking the wrong one. Stop. This is getting on my nerves. Stop.
Come here!
Sorry. No. No. Stop being blue. Whatever. I must have turned it off. Oh well, that's fine with me. Oh, he's refreshing it. Okay.
I'm not here on Wi-Fi. Did we have to turn off Wi-Fi? I cannot turn off Bluetooth unless you won't track the fucking.
It might have been on his end. Who knows? He has shitty Wi-Fi. I'll just get on Facebook for a little bit.